Hello guys, and we're here today with another very awesome video. We're here with Fluffals. As I said on Monday, I will be going over Fluffals, and this is another very good deck that I feel will be able to compete against Pendulums, mainly because of this card right here, Frightful Tiger, being able to destroy multiple cards. You want to destroy their scale and some of their monsters, so that way you can go for an OTK and just completely really hurt your opponent, really put the pressure on them. But the problem with this deck is it definitely has a consistency problem. There is a lot of good cards for it that really help out with that, but like, there's some good combos, there's a lot of draw power, but sometimes you just don't draw into the right cards, or you don't see the right cards, or you don't have access to the monsters you want to go through. So let's just go right in. Fluffal Dog. He will search out Edgem Sabres or any Fluffal monster, and that is what's the problem with the deck, is pretty much you don't have access to Chain or Saw, except for this card. This is the only card that can search Chain or Saw. And they're very useful. They make very important fusion monsters, but if you use this card, you cannot use their effects nor normal summon them, which doesn't really hurt Saw as much. He's a decent monster to normal summon, but it does hurt Chain. You will not be able to use his effect when fusion summoning with him from the hand or from the field, and he's really good when you do that, because his effect is he can add a Frightful card, such as Frightful Fusion, which is a Miracle Fusion, to your hands. So the idea is to fusion summon with him, who does he make? He makes this card, Sheep, which is very good. Sheeps and Nomades. Very helps out, prevents those damage jugglers and the whatnot. And so he's very important. But if you search, the only card to search him out is this card, and if you do, you cannot use his effect. So that just kind of sucks. But sometimes you don't have to deal with that. Sometimes you're able to just flip it and search out for a Sabres. That's probably your best bet, because Sabres is needed for Tiger, and if you really don't have a play, you can search out Fluffal Bear, but again, you cannot use his effect. His effect is awesome. You get a set of Toy Vendor, and so then you can use Toy Vendor. So the idea is to use him and then ditch either Edgem Chain, so that way you can get its effect to search for a Frightful card, or ditch Fluffal Wings. If you ditch Fluffal Wings, well, it doesn't happen once you ditch it. If this card is in your graveyard, you can banish a Fluffal monster. I normally banish Fluffal Bear, and then draw one card, and then you get to destroy Toy Vendor, and then draw one card again. So you get to go very plus off of that. And so yeah, and then we also have in here the last Fluffal monster, 2 Owls. He could probably go up to 3. He allows us to search for Poly, or you can pay 500 to fusion summon using monsters on your side of the field or in your hand. So he in himself is a polymerization. 3 Frightful Fusion, like I said, it's a Miracle Fusion banished from your graveyard to fusion summon Regeki, and then reveal a fusion monster, and then add one of the materials listed. If you reveal something like Frightful Wolf, you cannot add like a Fluffal monster. You had to add Edgem Sabres. If you want to add a Fluffal monster, you would have to reveal Frightful Bear and add Bear, or yeah, all of them just ask for a random Fluffal. So there's the only Fluffal monster you can search for is Bear, but you can search for all of our Edgems. 2 polymerizations. Really nice that this is generic, because sometimes it's like your opponent has to warning it, but it's like nah, I can activate it again, I can get it back. Upstart Goblin for more consistency. Foolish Burial to dump Sabres, dump Fluffal Wings, just fill your grave up for those Miracle Fusions or for those combos. Mystical Space Typhoon. And then, like I said, Toy Vendor allows you to ditch a card, draw one card, and if it is a Fluffal monster, you can special summon out a Fluffal monster. If not, you have to discard it. So by itself, it is kind of a minus. But if it's sent to the graveyard, you can add a Edgem Sabres or a Fluffal monster from your deck to hand. So you get more searching. Like I said, you can destroy Toy Vendor and then draw a card and then search a card. So it's really good. If you ditch Toy Vendor for Toy Vendor, it will get its effect to search. So that's really awesome. So it's all good in the hood with this card. It's a minus by itself, but if you do it right, you can actually go very plus using this card. And then we're just running some traps just to make sure if our OTK doesn't go through, our opponent can't play either. And that is it pretty much for the main deck. It's all about just getting, you really want these guys to get to hand, and then get a polymerization, and then get them Frightful Fusion, and then you just should have game if you can do that, because you can make so much. And so let's go over the extra deck. Run Chimera requires 3 Frightfuls, which is the fusion monsters. Kind of hard to summon out, but he is a decent effect. He's an Nomades, and he's a Go-Yo. Is it Go-Yo? What is it? Go-Yo Predator has the attack, and 300 attack for each monster you control that is owned by your opponent. So he's definitely very, very useful. Just being able to steal your opponent's monsters. But it sends to the graveyard. Has to send to this graveyard. So if you destroy a pendulum, not so good. Tiger probably should go up. In fact, probably Leo should go down and Tiger should go up. One frightful monster and or Fluffal and or Edge Imp monster. When he's fusion summoned, target a frightful monster in graveyard, special summon it. If you use 3 or more materials, he cannot be destroyed by battle by card effects. And all frightful monsters you control gain 400 attack. So he's very, very useful. There's a lot of other. He also makes them gain 300 attack for each Fluffal monster and frightful monster you control. So just having a whole bunch of having him and him should increase. He will increase both of them by 600. He'll increase both of them by 400. So that's 1,000 plus attack on both of these monsters. So that's awesome. Frightful Leo is a ring of destruction, except only to your opponent. So that's definitely very useful on the 24 beta. So that's very good. But he cannot attack directly the turn you use that effect. Frightful Bear, again, he's mostly here to just search out Fluffal Bear. But if he destroys a monster by battle, sends the graveyard, equip the monster, and he gains 1,000 attack. So very useful. Frightful Wolf, he is the OTK machine. He can attack up to the number of fusion material monsters used. Not that strong, only having 2,000 attack, but if you make a Frightful Tiger, blow up the field, then use a Frightful Fusion, and use like 4 materials, that's really, really good. And then if you have another Polymerization, and then another Edge Imp, you can make this guy, and then summon them back out, and he can have like 3,000, 3,400 attack, something like that, and be able to attack 4 times. It's just insane. And then you still have these 2 guys who can get rid of any lingering monsters being at like 3,500 or something like that attack. And then this card's very, very useful. It's an Armades, like I said. If it is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can summon it down and it gains 800 attack. You can only use that effect once per turn, but that's very useful because, like I said, all these monsters have increased in attack. And then Frightful Sheep can just get that extra 800. You can crash it against like a really big monster, and then he summons himself back out. And if your opponent can get rid of it twice, then it becomes very annoying. But it can be 101, so just be careful. And then one Nodin, because we are running level 4s in the deck. So Nodin definitely helps out just by making some quick XZ monsters to get rid of monsters, do even more damage, or get rid of certain cards that we just cannot get rid of right now. And so this deck is definitely very good. It just has kind of a consistency problem. Like some of the hands, they just will not be good. It really sucks that the best searcher in the deck has such a limiting factor. It gets you whatever you want. You know, though, with this card with pendulums, like you can add Odd Ice Pendulum Dragon and then activate as a pendulum and still activates its effect, which I think is kind of weird. But because it's a spell and not a monster effect, I guess you can get away with it. So that's just something to know with this card. But yeah, this deck is definitely very, very, very good and actually has a chance against Pepe to do with. The only problem would be Trapeze Magician, just being able to float for days. Trapeze plus Trick Clown can be a very deadly setup because you can then summon out use Trick Clown to summon out Trapeze from grave, summon out a Flush Fire once the Flush Fire is destroyed. You can then summon out a Damage Juggler once the Trapeze is destroyed. You can then summon out a Flush Fire again, and then you have another 3 more walls. So that can be really annoying. But this deck can get rid of it with 101 or Castell and prevent anything like that if necessary. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Tell me guys what you think of Fluffal. Tell me what deck you guys think will be decent against Pepe. And don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys later.